What uppers? It's Sin Killer, and today I gotta talk about the PvP problem in Arc Raiders and why Embark Studios need to address this, like now. Before I even go further, let me be very clear. Arc Raiders needs PvP. That's not the issue. The real issue is how PvP is currently existing in this game. Because right now, there's no really repercussions. I mean, it's just crazy, and it's creating a specific type of player. And that player are rats. And you probably experienced this already. I mean, you're fighting machines, burning resources, maybe you're even low on health. And then out of nowhere, a player jumps you. Not during the fight, not before the fight, but after. They waited, they watched, they let the arcs do all the work, and then they clean you up. No risk or reward. And that playstyle is starting to take over. Here's where things gets interesting. Arc Raiders was originally designed to be a player versus environment game, but the devs added player versus player because they thought the players might get bored with PvE. But ironically, due to the community, they did the exact opposite. In fact, in a recent article from the Guardian.com website, they did an interview with the executive producer, Alexander Grando, and he talked about a moment where when the game first came out and during the alpha test, they had a matriarch spawn for the very first time. Instead of the players fighting each other, they stopped and started working together. And this came within the span of 30 seconds. 30 seconds. People were fighting each other, saw the matriarch, band together, 30 seconds. They formed Voltron and they start destroying the matriarch. That says a lot about what the players really want. Side note here, let me be Sin Killer for a minute. There's been ongoing discussions about this within the community. It's practically dividing it. Embark Studios really need to do something about this issue because people are gearing up to leave, if not left already. Forbes recently did an article where the player count for this game is down 80% now on Steam. The community already stated most PvEers have left to play other games due to unbalanced PvP. And speaking of other games, this is why Windroads is picking up a speed.
I once met a man who said he was a fan. He wanted to sing in my shanty band, but the bottom of his face looked weird. There was skin on his chin and a low dome free across crown to his ear. He was most sincere, but you can't sing shanties if you got no beard. Got no beard, you got no beard. You can't sing shanties if you got no beard.
As you can see here in this little picture, it shows that the core focus of the actual game is PvE only. There's zero player versus player. People are giving it rave reviews and about this game, and I know quite a few people personally that left to go play it. This is what a lot of players are looking forward to. Not constant third-party fights, not worrying about losing their gear and their equipment, and not, especially after dealing with a real heavy-duty fight with all the arcs. They're not worrying about that anymore. So they really want a more engagement with the world set environment instead of dealing with rats. So when you take all of that in and then look at how PvP currently plays out in Arc Raiders, you start to see the disconnect. It's starting to look bleak. Now look, I play PvP games all the time. I mean, I play Apex Legends, Marvel Rivals. Hell, I might go back to Overwatch sometime soon. Maybe, I don't know. But my point is, I'm not really scared of PvPing. Not at all. But what I'm not rocking with is players act like they're good at PvPing in Arc Raiders. You're not. You're absolutely not. What you're doing is just straight up ratting. I mean, you're trying to take advantage of people. Let's be real. A lot of these players are not winning straight fights. They're waiting. They're getting good positionings and they're stalking and waiting for the easiest possible moment. And that's not skill. That's just opportunity. That's opportunistic gameplay. And that's just half of the problem. The other problem is the system itself, because you see PvP and Arc Raiders, I mean, it's not built for be a competitive shooter. It's an extraction shooter, like I said. I mean, because, it feels slower, it's situational, and it's not the main focus. Like I said, it's an extraction shooter. The whole main goal is to go against the Arc machines and to survive. I mean, yes, with a hint a hint of PvPing. But, you know, society changed that. Like I said, this is a social experiment. Society changed it, and the greed and the corruptive, you know, human beings is on this planet took over. So that's what it is. So when players actually PvP, well, in the solo, not in a triple or duo. Triple and duos are built for PvPing because your team, you have a team with you. But when it comes to solo, it's every man for itself, and it's not good. And that's what creates the fights to feel one-sided, unfair, and just inconsistent, and quite honestly, very, very frustrating. And therein lies the conundrum, and that's why the community is split on this. Some players say that's the point. PvP creates tension. Man up. While others say the game feels better when it leans towards PvE. We are in a post-apocalyptic world. Let's band together and stop the invading machines. But when you boil it down to it, and quite honestly, both sides has a point. And even though both sides has a point, therein lies the real issue. The game hasn't fully decided what it wants to be. Embark really needs to decide and where they want this game to go in the future. And if not, the players will continue to be forcing their own versions of it. And that's where the friction comes from. Now that I got that out the way, how do Embark Studios really fix this? There are ways to do it, and these ways I don't think will break the game. Okay, one way is PvE focused events. Raiders vs Machines. No friendly fire. Let players fully lean into the co-op moments that make this game great. 2. If you got PvE events, you gotta have PvP events. PvP focused events. If players want chaos, cool. Make it so that friendly fire's on, every man for themselves. Less, have some good loot or good goop in this case, but not that many arcs, but have them in the event and then let them go for what they know. 3. Zone-based design. I mean, you pretty much got it. So why don't you just have it where certain areas lean more to PvE and then other areas lean more to PvP? Don't make it an event, make it an area on the map. When you go to this area of the map, you know you're just doing PvE. Go to this side of the map, you know you're doing straight PvP. Let players choose their own risk. I think that would be very beneficial in the long run. With that being said, they already got step 4. Player have better behavior matchmaking. I mean, come on. I mean, they already got it where you separate aggressive players from passive players. Embark already does this, but I don't really like the system. I mean, it's like, case in point, when last week, I went to help people. You know, who were getting taken out by rats, and I took out two rats. Killed them and then knocked them out. You seen it in the last video. I took them out. That instantaneously put me in the aggressive lobbies. And I was fighting tooth and nail. Just fighting tooth and nail. It got so bad to the point where I was just like, I'm not fighting anymore. I need to go back to the Care Bear lobbies. And now I'm doing that. Now look, I'm a passive raider. These are what aggressive raiders are doing. They're fighting, and then when they get, because they can't really fight, they're not that good, they're rats. So then when they get to the upper echelon of where everybody is better than them, the PvP streamers, then they be like, you know what, I gotta back off. I'm losing all my goop. Let me back off. Let me go back down so I can stalk the non-passive sheeple, because I'm a rat. They gotta do this. They have to. Embark has to create a better matchmaking system. They just have to. And that's one of the main degrees that will help, PvEers feel more comfortable in this game, as well as PvPers. Just my take. At the end of the day, Arc Raiders is still a great game. But right now, PvP feels like it's fighting against the game's identity, instead of enhancing it. And if Embark Studios don't address that, you're going to see a lot more frustration, more divide in the community, and eventually, players walking away. And trust me, it's not because players are scared to fight. It's because the fights just don't feel right.
I know you ain't. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. No, you ain't gonna do that, dog. You shot me first, bro. Don't even.
Right here.
Yeah. Okay. 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 That's what you're doing, dog. All right. I got you. You're an ass, dog. You're funny. Get off me. That's what you get, Goofy. Don't call me a rat, dog. You started fighting me first, bro. Yo.
That kills you.
A rat, and then fake like he was the victim.
Yeah.